Call this meeting to order, please. Everybody, welcome to the September 17th meeting of the Road Advisory Committee. Call it to order. We have 7 here, 2 missing. I do want to welcome, before we do anything, he's not here yet, but I want to welcome the newest member, Fred Nader.
Fred Nader.
Nader, okay, I just want to be able to pronounce. Well, okay, I'll welcome him if he comes in the door.
Yeah.
I'm going to dispense with reading this message. I always do because there's nobody here, it's just us. It's a work session. First of all, the minutes for the September 3rd meeting, did you send those out? Because I can't find them. Well, that's me. It's not you, it's me. So we can still, if you've read, has everybody else read them?
Yeah.
No?
Look for him right before we left, so.
Okay,
That's
so
why
we
I
didn't
don't
get
have
them.
an agenda.
We got the agenda. All right, so you know what then?
It was with the agenda, was it not?
No, it was
No,
not.
it was not.
That's why I said, okay. So you know what? Let's
Russians
just
took-
postpone
I
that.
can pull it up right now if you want to see it.
Well, I would just as soon we'll
Revisit it
approve those
formally.
minutes at the next meeting, that's all. It's no big deal, it was just a study session, so, but anyway, we'll approve it at the next meeting. We can, that's perfectly legal, you can do that, doesn't have to be done now. So, okay, this is a work session to kind of finalize what we have published here, what we're going to be presenting on in the October meeting to the Board of Trustees. And I just want to say, first of all, it's the amount of work, I'm really impressed with what you folks have done here. The amount of information that's in here, I think it's probably the first time ever that this much information on this subject has been put into one place at one time in an organized way. And I think when people see this, they're going to go, whoa. I mean, it's really impressive what you folks have done. So it's really good. Thank you. So I guess today what we'll do is we'll just go over the format again if we need to. And then what I'd like to do is suggest a format for the presentation and see what you think about that, okay? So it's up to you. What do you want to do? You want to talk about the content now? Are you satisfied with it? Or what's your pleasure? What do you want to do? Any suggestions?
Well, I did some updates to mine based on what you guys put in a
That
couple
was
weeks
this
ago.
right here?
Correct.
Yeah.
So I can go through what those changes were.
Go
or
ahead.
just-
Yeah, sure.
So basically, Steve had brought up, for instance, the Pacer stuff. I just had the original document of evaluated periodically, because I couldn't find any hard copy anywhere that said it was on a 3-year cycle. So I added in that it's typically on a 3-year cycle, so that everybody has awareness of it. I also changed from the one you had seen 2 weeks ago, that I downloaded some new Pacer rating charts from from SEMCOG instead, as opposed to the ones that were presented to us from the Road Commission of Oakland County.
Yeah, this is different.
Correct. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so basically, it shows only the streets that belong to Bloomfield Township, and it's the freshest data
That's good.
possible.
That's
So
really
it still
good.
reflects the same thing as Mike brought out before, that's the true tale of, when you look at the ones where federal aid is available, they're yellow and green and just a couple of reds versus the ones where there is no federal aid. It's mostly rated as poor. And then the last page, I added the part with regards to the township has no control over what can be done to the roads with respect to items such as speed limits, signage, and speed humps.
Good.
That was your recommendation, Jeff?
Yeah, thank you.
And then it just continues on with, while they provide the service of asphalt patching, they are not responsible for nor have the budget to provide repaving services at this time. Therefore, repaving or replacement of subdivision streets remains the responsibility of the RCOC, which will be borne out in all the presentations.
Yeah, okay.
So that's the changes that I made. So it's
Okay.
different map,
Very
different
good.
beginning, and
Go ahead.
so thanks
Sure.
for your input.
When we got together, there were a couple things that we didn't have exact numbers for, so you see the highlighted. We
Right.
didn't have that data and didn't think of a way to do that. So we were hoping that maybe the road department or somebody could help us with that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can't, then should we fine tune this and take that out and, because we can't
Yeah, I
publish
see where
with,
you, wait, yeah, I got it.
we can't publish with highlight. And we're not trying to make trouble, for the road department, I mean, they're busy, so we understand that. So we're looking for guidance. How do you want Jeff and Lee to?
Well, if I could suggest, we still have several weeks. We have like at least 3 weeks before we do the presentation.
Yes,
Could you try to get the road department to give you this updated and see if you can't? Is that possible?
Can Mike do that?
Mike, can you help us with that? Okay.
and if
Don't
not,
respond to Mike, but I will
I can
ask.
help you with road department and engineering department. Maybe between two of them, we can fill up those.
okay, and we don't want to burn a lot of township time. But I mean, so if you can, great. If not, whatever's left highlighted, we'll take
You'll
another
have to
pass
edit,
and
you can edit it out, and do with it what you can at the end.
We'll fine tune it and
Good.
cut, we'll do what we have
Or you
to do.
can leave it blank, if you don't have the data yet, right?
Well, if you could help us, please. If not, take a pass. If it doesn't work, then we'll take another pass on our end.
So
And we'll get rid
you
of it.
want me to do that for you? Between road department and engineering, I can come up with the data.
Hey, Fred. No, come on in. This is Fred Nader, a new board member.
Oh, welcome, Fred.
Welcome back.
Guys, thank you. Good to see you all. Appreciate it.
Welcome.
So, Mike, whenever it is, just shoot it back to us and we'll
Okay, just
we'll clean
update
up,
it.
and we'll clean up whatever
Okay,
they can't.
okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And the other thing on our section, you got a separate handout, and we've added a couple things, and it's in yellow. It's under 3D and 3H and 4E and 4F. Those
Grab all
are
that paperwork
those
there,
are just
you're right.
edit updates.
That's what we're looking
so
at right
you
now.
can see, trying to make it a little bit clearer. One thing I was unaware of, and maybe everybody else understood, I didn't, that on 3D, until we got the information on the finances, and I had understated the amount of money going into the road program. It's much more than I thought, because I didn't pick up the transfer from the township, of 2 million, it's gonna be 2,700,000 and 26. So that makes that a much bigger budget of about $6 million. So anyway,
Okay, that's good.
and you can see that in the finance report that's came out too. So it's just,
And Mike, Jeff and I will clean up whatever we have to do. Thank you.
Okay, one of the things I was going to ask for is that when we do this, of course, this probably comes up more under the next thing about the format of the presentation.
Yes.
Of all the groups, the 4 groups, if you could give me the name, who's going to present
Okay.
ahead of time. I want to have that so that I don't look stupid not knowing who's doing what. So if you could, do that. The other thing I was going to ask you all to do is, we have that one picture. Sue, you had that one picture with that beautiful road, which is,
I can't get into my shared drive.
all right, well,
Trying to get
you-
some
if
of
you
these.
remember, she had that up on the board, on the screen there, and it had a, the cover sheet, here we are. And it had a perfect road.
Right.
Well, what I'd like you all to do is to go in someplace in your subdivision, wherever, and find the worst road you've got, and take a photo.
That's easy.
Okay, and send it to Sue.
Yep.
And we'll figure out which one, and put that one on that photo, not the perfect road, which don't exist.
And we can sprinkle that, a couple throughout the presentation.
Well, in your own presentation, sure.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
But, so okay, anybody else have any other suggestions or anything else about?
I asked you.
Yeah, sure.
In the front portion of the report, so, they're all small, do you want to call it outline committee progress report in the title? Because it's a progress, right? It's not a final report.
Oh, no, absolutely. I'm going to make that clear in the introduction.
And then, in item 1, A through E, should we have a conclusion before recommendations? We may already have written down in the.
No, you mean, we have D is recommendations?
Right, so usually you have a conclude, based on our finding, what we concluded, and then, based on that, we recommend that now
Okay.
do A, B, C, D. That's,
Well, I don't think we're up to that.
No, so my thought when I put this together, is we're just dealing with current situation and findings. This was for the committee to see what the total report would be, because if you go to the second page, you see us
I
getting
do understand that.
into, you get us into, we get into alternatives, then we get into recommendations.
That's fine.
So what,
That won't even be in the report.
no,
right?
all we're doing is just dealing with where we are today.
Got it.
And this outline is for the entirety of our
It's- it-
effort.
Yeah, what I did was I kind of, which is what I usually do, when I make a presentation, I look at the people who we are presenting to and how they are going to understand what you're trying to present. And that's how it's my critique, it's nothing, right or wrong, I'm just, and then there is an item F, 2F, which says although, the last sentence, it says the adjacent property owners, although it benefits the community. Now, do we have a proof of that?
I'm
Or
sorry,
is it-
where are you?
He's on 2F.
2F.
2F,
Okay.
last line,
Yeah, under current situations.
it says, and this is what probably board is going to read most than all the details, because this is pretty voluminous. I just wonder whether we need some kind of sentence that there is a proof of that, that it's going to benefit the whole community, or, because, and I have recent experience going before the board, and they, in reference to safety path, and they do safety paths on the main roads. They don't do anything. They think subdivision is not part of the connecting neighborhoods or whatever. So their mindset is, in my opinion, and my recent experience, is that we are connecting, by putting safety paths on Telegraph Road, we are connecting neighborhoods. So whereas ours is opposite. We are saying that we are improving the subdivision road, that's going to help the whole community, right?
Well, let's look at it, okay? Just to say what you said. How many of the subdivisions, how many of them have cut-through street where people go through going to schools or wherever, and they do use those subdivision streets, whether it's through Bloomfield Village, Westchester Village, or any other place? People all over the community use those roads. They go to churches, they go to schools, they go wherever, and they're going through subdivisions to get there. And that's who's benefiting.
I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying that we should put one sentence of proof, what you just said. That because most people use subdivision street to commute through.
Okay, then if you want to do that,
Let me
go ahead, Jeff,
interject.
go ahead.
I put this outline together just to guide the committee. It was not my intention that this outline would go to the Board of Supervisors at this time. What I did when I was kind of brainstorming, I was just making suggestions under each broad category, what may be included in there. It was not anything definitive or a finding of this committee. So we really decided we're going to break it down into current situation, Township, county, state financing and the overall situation. These were just suggestions for each group to consider in what they put together. And just me, that was just me.
Right.
So it wasn't intention was not to be for the committee or to be presented at this meeting.
Okay, so what you're saying is that this outline, this is not going to be in the presentation.
No, it's us.
It's us, just for us. That is not in the presentation.
This is not in presentation?
No, not that
It's
outline.
internal working document.
When you go here, you go into that packet, and you go into section 2, current situation township, which that reflects.
But number 2, or it will be number 1?
Well, I don't know how we're going to put that. We'll have to work that out. But
It's how
that's
you
the
do the
first.
PowerPoint.
It's how we do the PowerPoint, but that's the first, that is the first part of the report, current situation township. Because there's only 4. There's 5 sections here,
Okay.
but only 4 are going to be reported on. So I think, you had your hand up first.
I think somewhere we need to address the fact that since we don't have sidewalks required, the burden for having safe streets to walk on is now put on the neighborhood to have nice streets. We do not have that anywhere that I'm aware of. And the new sidewalks that they're putting in along Telegraph, that's great. No one lives there. So the idea that I think you mentioned at the beginning, to have the airplane land on the runway, that safety is our primary concern, and it truly is. This is really a safety issue. It's not a visionary issue. It's a safety issue, and that the kids cannot ride their bikes without putting their life in peril. So that's the bottom line. We need to address that's their responsibility. They just are not safe. That's part of the problem. No one cares about the sewers that run under them. They care about the surface, so.
Okay, so what we could do, that would be under current conditions
Yeah, I thought it would be,
Township. So we can add that to
Yeah.
that, and Sue and I can work on that.
That would be
when we put it
great.
together.
So I think it's important.
Okay, add, safety. I'll just put that as a keyword for myself, so when we work on that.
Thank you.
If I could.
Go right ahead.
Build on that, because it's not just walking. In mind, we've got all these scooters.
Well, the bicycles, yeah.
They're
Wheelchairs.
bicycles, but they're powered scooters that are flying around my neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I'm not complaining, I'm just saying, these guys are moving pretty fast.
25 miles an hour.
Well, they're going, well, we'll call it 25, but it's at least, at a minimum. And, but they're flying around. And these are 12-year-olds on going 30 miles
You're
an
right,
hour.
right, I get it.
You know,
But also, you have to include, then, you have to say also, people driving they're swerving around big holes.
no question,
And
yeah.
they could be hitting somebody, hitting an it's all part of that, it could all be inclusive into safety.
Right.
So that's a good point, because I don't see anything in that, in the current situation township, in the text here,
Right.
Yeah.
talking about that, so we should add that.
Okay.
Okay, we can do that.
Good.
Okay, yes, Fred, you
Yeah,
had something.
well, I agree with the safety part. Quite honestly, if I were to go to talk to all my neighbors, say, we're gonna pay to pave the street, and the whole community is gonna benefit from it. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say 9 out of 10 of my neighbors are gonna say, I don't give a damn about the rest of my community. If I go to those same neighbors and say, we're gonna pave the streets, and it's going to be a safer place for your kids to roller skate, to walk.
grandchildren.
That's a much better story
Okay.
than trying to convince, I have this rule of never tell people more than they're willing to believe, even if it's the truth. And I think it falls into that category. I thank you for bringing up the safety portion of it. I think it's a better story.
Well, the thing about the benefit, the community benefiting, it's the dichotomy between who's paying and who's getting the benefit. Who's paying for it is the people that live on that street. But everybody else is, not everybody, many people are driving through there benefiting from what you've paid for. That's the point. Now, we're not doing it so they'll benefit, but this is the fact that we're paying for it and they are benefiting.
Yeah,
The way it's funded now.
And I prefer that they don't cut through my street.
Well, then leave the potholes and make it bad for them to go through. However, part of this is, if you remember, we added, and it's in the mission statement, about autonomy, about what we want to be able to do. If we have perfect roads, okay, so you say, well, they'll go, but if we could put speed bumps or something, physical impediments to slow them down, which we can't do right now, really, that's also part of what we want to try to do.
Yeah,
So,
all right.
yeah, that's the picture I'm saying. That doesn't exist.
Beautiful.
That's on Mars.
People would want to live here if it was like that.
Yeah, that looks like a northern.
That's up north someplace,
We're up
maybe.
north. Yeah, I was just there. I was trying to, in
Okay, so
Leland.
the safety thing is gonna be added, we'll add that.
I like Leland.
I
I know we
Leland.
do both then, okay.
Well, we go off that.
Go right ahead.
Well, one of the things, and again,
They're great.
I'm new, so I want to listen more than anything else.
Periodic
But and I read through the documents, and over the last couple of days, a couple of times. And a lot of good ideas on how to fix the roads. A lot of good alternatives, suggestions. What's missing is how to stop the damage.
Stop what?
Stop the damage. And I think that for me, I think that has to be a strong part of what we're proposing, because, if we don't stop the damage through our building and permitting department, it doesn't matter how, we're gonna be fixing the roads again in another 8 or 10 years, not 30. So at least for what it's worth for me, I think that is, if you're gonna fix something, you gotta prevent it from getting broken again.
Part of the problem is fixing it is not necessarily replacing what you have. It may be like where you have concrete, and we got a lecture on the gases. Falling apart of the concrete, and it's not the state of Michigan's fault, it's really a whole bunch of other people's fault, but if they were to come in my neighborhood and just put blacktop over it, that would be non-replacing it, but making it so that it's the way we, people are hoping that it will be. That can be replaced, and we all know asphalt can be redone, reused, and then relaid. Now, you could say every 10 years, that would be a horrible thing. Well, the cement in our neighborhood is only from 1988, and it's, as we say, horrible. So we could have replaced it once or twice, but I think it's an issue that you have to just think it through, like you mentioned there, and make the case to your neighbors. You said one neighbor would say it would be okay, or 8 neighbors?
Maybe, I'm
Maybe,
giving you
yeah.
the benefit of the
The
doubt.
one
I
neighbor
don't
would
think
be
any
is,
of them would say it's
when you go out to the mailbox, you're not gonna find a crater there. And when your grandchildren are there, they can ride their bikes like a human being. And when the scooters go by, that's a community benefit that we're talking about.
And that's all
not.
safety.
I'm gonna
and-
interject
and
one
that's
thing
not-
though on this.
And that's
Just
not a,
Keep on focusing,
like a
keep on
lot.
task.
yeah.
We're not gonna be proposing any fixes or any solutions. in
Right.
This
report.
round.
This is not, that's the next phase. We'll get into that.
Well, we'll
Right
get
now,
the
we're just saying
picketers.
what is.
When the picketers will come and help us with that.
Well, we just wanna say what is. Now, the safety part of it that you, yes, that's what is.
No, you're right, you're right. We
That's
gotta- we
what's
gotta
going to
stay on-
be.
We gotta
Let's
stay
keep
on, we gotta stay on
focused.
lane.
Okay,
Stay
I'm
on our
sorry.
lane.
Steve, did you wanna say something? You have
No,
something?
I was gonna ask Fred for a follow-up, but I like let's keep on, let's not lose sight of the focus for this.
Of this part.
Yeah, and so I'll park my follow-up to Fred later.
Well, I think you gotta understand, how did we get here?
Yeah.
And part of how we got here is age, there's no doubt. But the other part of how we got here is accelerated construction of, big mansions in our subdivisions with large lots. And, it's like I used the example in the last presentation, just of one house in my neighborhood. 2 million pounds of dirt were removed from that property.
Yeah,
That's gotta be core to understanding how we got here. We are accelerating the damage through the construction process, and I would be willing to say that our permitting process probably hasn't changed in
well,
a very long time.
It's a good point.
just as a follow-up, and what I really don't want to get involved with right now, only now, is that what can we do about it? Because that property is there, it can be developed. I don't think the township wants to not allow development. So I'm not sure, I think you were the one that talked about 10 concrete trucks lined up, nose to tail, each of which weighs 90,000, a lot of weight. Bang, 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 and all the dirt that was removed and all that. I don't have an answer. Let's just think about, for the tomorrow discussion, what would you do about that? How would they permit it differently? Because that topsoil's gotta be removed. That concrete has to come through. How would you do that? So just think about what
Right.
the solution looks like.
Okay, again, I wanna say that's how we got here and what to do about it is
Yeah.
outside the scope
That's
of what we have.
I agree, that's a
So,
tomorrow
But
discussion.
yes, let's keep that in mind, bring that up as we get into the next phase.
Okay.
Absolutely, that's
Yeah.
true. So, anyway, let's get back to this report, okay? What we
Current
have here.
situation.
So, what I wanted to suggest is a format. I want to get your input on how we're going to do this. I think whatever always happens, Mike, you have to introduce this to the agenda. Well, it's on the agenda, but you have to introduce it because you put it on the agenda.
Right.
Okay, and then I would think that you would perhaps let me introduce the subject.
Absolutely.
You know, okay.
Yeah.
So what I want to do is to use that photo that you had up there, but with a road that actually exists in the township. And
Take
you
your
know-
choice.
What?
Take your choice.
Yeah, well, let's figure, we'll find one. Okay,
Red light.
Sue,
and,
you have all the photos that I gave you last time?
I believe, yeah, we still have one. I can pick one, yeah.
Get one of those and throw it up.
Yeah, those are good.
I won't get into any of the reports when I do the introduction, but what I'd like to show is, what I'm going to do is to show the mission statement, why, and that, you know, and refresh it. Remember, well, you gotta remember, this is not just going to the board. More importantly, it's going out to the community who's watching this. That's really who it's gonna see it. It's, you know, so I wanna remind people of how this developed, that the Board of Trustees appointed this committee to do this, and have the mission statement, and, you know, just a little of that. But what I wanna do is show this, I want to put this Pacer report up right away, and I say, you know, it's worth a picture's worth 1,000 words. And here it is. This is the crux of the problem. That is what we have. And I'll go into a little bit, but I'm going to say that it's going to be fully reported on later, you know, in the individual reports. But I want them to see that's what we have.
And
So that's
it
starting
might
there.
be powerful to add, that's their rating. I mean, that's their analysis.
Right.
It's not our,
Yeah.
you know, home
And
cooked.
that's the point.
It's
From the
not-
county.
Yeah, it's the county. It's not our home cooked, we're trying to put our thumb on the scale. This is what the county
And
says.
that's part of what I want to, when I bring something like that, I'm going to say, what we're going to show you here tonight
Yeah.
is not just stuff, anecdotal stuff, and people telling us what's going on in their subject. In it. This is the fact from the authorities.
Yep.
That's not ours. That's just what you said. I
Yeah.
want to emphasize that.
Yeah.
Now, what I also want to emphasize is that what we're showing them tonight, there are no solutions in here.
Right.
I want to right up front tell them, there's not going to be any solutions.
Yeah.
We have none. No recommendations, no solutions.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say, if you've tuned in to see solutions, well, go to another channel, because you're not going to see it. And then say, this is just the beginning, and some quote, well, whatever.
Except, depends on what happens in the next 13 days, from a budget point of view.
Well, that can be, we're going to talk about
I
that.
mean, that's,
Okay, we'll get into that after this.
we got 13 days.
I know.
Jeff, only solution is SAD right now, right?
Sorry?
You said there's no solution, right now, the only solution is SAD.
Well,
No, I'm not going to go into that. I mean, we'll say that's
That's
the
not a
current
solution?
situation. The situation is, and we have it written in that, the current situation is that that each individual, the homeowners pay for it. That's the current situation. But I'm not going to start talking about what we need to, anything other than what really is, the facts as they are on the ground right now. Because if we start doing that, then it just dilutes what we've done. What we've done is terrific work here. And it's factual, it's not just hearsay, it's from the source. And this is real, not made up. And that's all I wanted to do. That's the purpose of this meeting.
We're all going to agree what the situation is based upon this report we're presenting to them. That's the bottom line. This is the bottom, the foundation
What's the problem?
of which every other decision should be made. I'd like to just kind of like, so I don't miss a deadline, the presentations are all going to be put on PowerPoint, is that correct?
Right.
Who's going to do this?
Sue and I are going to work on this together.
Okay.
To make sure that everything
And
is.
so if we have ideas about the PowerPoint subscripts that need to be there, we just send them on to you and you'll.
You can say, yeah,
Yeah, you
send
pour
it
them
to
in
Sue.
there. And
Any
then
ideas?
How many minutes are you supposed to speak?
I have no idea, I don't know.
3?
Well, it'll be
Two?
agenda item.
It's
3
an
minutes?
agenda item, so.
No, I
you
mean,
can go as long as you
I'm
want.
talking about, like some of these, you're gonna spend much more time. Mine,
Yeah.
it basically regurgitates what the situation is. We don't have to go through a big history
That's the
lesson.
purpose,
And,
right.
and we'll just say, ooh, I'm sorry, I thought I shut my phone. We'll go through and say, these are this is where we are, this is the situation. But some of these are much more interesting than that and obviously require more detailed discussion. But, so what's the date where you want those? You want to know what our take is on the PowerPoint presentation?
Well, as soon as you can get it in. I mean, what you've already presented That's the gist of the report. That's
Okay.
there. Now, I think you do, Sue, you need to have a discussion, I think, with Sue about your report to clear some things up. She
Yeah.
asked me about it, and I think you should be the one to talk to her.
Just for perspective, Sue's
Clearing up.
12 hours away from major surgery.
Oh, I'm
She's-
good.
Yeah,
Maybe next week.
but
Okay.
she's 12 hours away
Well,
from major surgery.
I'll get
Keep
together.
that,
if you have
keep that in
questions.
mind
You're right,
and
okay. All right,
Anyway,
so, but the
okay,
time
but
limit.
that's just my point.
There's no, typically, on an agenda item, there's no time limit. There really isn't.
All
But,
right.
you know, we don't want to go on for 4 hours. I mean, so
No.
if everybody speaks 5 minutes, there's 4, that's 20 minutes.
Not a church
Introduction,
meeting.
questions, so if we get it under a half hour, or 20 minutes, right? That's pretty reasonable.
Yeah, and remember, each trustee will get a copy in their
Right.
agenda of the report. And I know many of them review that
Mm-hmm.
thoroughly before the meeting.
Okay, good.
Okay.
All right, so we'll get it to you as fast
There'll
as
be
we
question
can.
and
and
answer after.
Yeah, They may have questions, sure. I
We'll
mean,
go from there.
we'll have to, you know, and they'll, if they ask me, I'm up, you know, and I'm telling you, everybody does it, I'm chair, I'm up there. If I don't have the answer, if I can refer it to one of you, and if you don't have the answer, now look, if you don't know, don't try to make some, say, I have no clue.
I don't know is an answer.
Yeah, I don't know is a good answer.
It's a deposition.
yeah.
I mean, you say, I haven't got a clue. That's all.
No, we
That's
don't
good.
say, we're not clueless, we just don't have.
No,
an
if
answer.
you ask me, I have no clue what the answer to your
I
question
think
is.
most of the
But
questions
we'll
will be
give it
out
to
of
you,
the
we'll find
scope.
out and get it back to you.
Was it
But you
clueless
gotta
in
remember,
Seattle?
this is just an interim update onto what we've done so that they know and people know. We've been doing this 6 months now, you realize that March, I think, is when we got
Was
this.
that the first meeting?
Well, I think March is when they, all right, let's say we're doing it for 5, in October, it'll be 6 months.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
what have you been doing for 6 months? Well, this is what we've been doing.
Getting
This is what it
educated.
is.
Getting
Right.
educated.
And that's the whole purpose.
Yep,
Jeff, go ahead.
When do you think you'll have a draft of the PowerPoint? So-
I've started it, it's just whittling down exactly what you guys want. Like Dr. Asarian's, there's so much information. I just need to know what he really, I would say like 8 solid points.
yeah, that's, okay, that's what I,
To put
okay.
in,
What? You're gonna be,
I'll be fine. I'll be at home, I'll be working from home.
okay.
So I'll-
Okay, would you
Well,
be
we'll
able
work,
to?
we'll get it straight, yeah,
The
that's.
first week of October, would you be available that we could get together and
Yeah,
work on it?
I'm back in the office on the 6th.
That's fine, because I think that's a week before
Yeah.
the presentation.
But I plan on working on it at home, so
Okay.
I'll probably be in touch.
So
with you.
it would be
8
good to
points,
get,
that's about right.
when it's done, given your personal health
I'm good.
situation, to get it to the board, and then I think we're supposed to meet in 2 weeks? Is that the plan? So it would be nice if we had a draft
Yeah.
at the.
When
at
we
the-
met-
That'd be good.
At the next, using timeframe, the
When
next
we
meeting.
meet.
And then we can say, okay, now let's tweak it, because we're then,
Yeah.
2 weeks out.
That's-
But if we have some, that's how I think we
Well,
can
that's a good
best input
target.
it.
I like
is-
targets.
Yeah, so we can do that, we can react to it, then it's 2 weeks to clean it.
Perfect. So our
So
next
getting-
meeting is what day?
October 1st.
Thank you.
October 1st.
Yeah.
So getting back to the format of the presentation, so once I I'll do an introduction, little background, whatever, so that they know what we're here for. They know and the people who are listening at home in the audience, they know what to expect. Then, we'd still go to each, group and whoever, but I want to get, again, I want between now and then, whoever's going to do the presentation from your group, so that I know exactly who it's going to be, and I can put that in my notes, and I, don't have a problem. And then after that's done, they come back to me, and I'll ask, are there any, do we have any questions, anything? And again, reiterate that this is just the beginning. And we'll keep them up to date. But if any questions on any of the information that we got, any of the data, and that's when you may have to, in your own group, whoever is doing it.
Yeah.
You may have to come up with, an answer, or I don't know.
Well, some have a
Okay.
bigger data trench than others, so that's
That's
the
true.
bottom line.
Like the financial, Jeff, your stuff. There's a lot in there.
But it looks like Sue's got a good jump on this.
Yeah.
So I did just kind of paraphrase from what you guys had provided.
Yeah.
And again, you might want something more substantial put in there.
Can you send that out to us now?
Yeah, I
See,
mean,
but
it's
again-
literally just a few sides.
Okay, well, send what you got, and we can
But
just
if
keep
you
it.
want to make a point, I wanted to show this one, hang on, where is it?
See, that
That's
I
what
want right up,
is
I want to have that right up front to show people exactly what we're dealing with. And then again, under the presentation from that group.
But here,
But I think, Jeff, if we leave it where it is, there's a lot of explanation as to how to interpret that, other than the fact red obviously must mean something bad. But I'd rather go through how the Pacer
Oh, no,
ratings
absolutely.
actually have
But I
generated
also-
before that gets shown to them.
But I also want it to be up in the front, right at the beginning in the introduction, to say,
Well, it is.
there it is,
Right.
this is what we got.
First
and
thing
you
you're
see
gonna
it
talk
later
about.
with the explanation.
Oh, look at you.
see, it was moving.
I like it, look at you.
So I could do it that way, or we can move it right up front.
Both, leave it in both places,
Do it twice.
do
Yeah.
it twice.
Yeah, just as a reminder.
I like that, look at you.
So-
Maybe do
What
that.
a, what a
We'll
country.
go over it.
And maybe finish with it again. Tell them, and then,
No, we're gonna have a piece of asphalt we'll pass around to all the people.
Visuals,
and then finish up with it.
the people get
Asphalt
it
paper
when they
weight.
see a visual. And that visual is really something. All right, yeah,
I have one question.
Yeah.
What is our desired outcome as a committee for this presentation?
for this presentation,
Right.
just to give information.
To know what the problem is.
What's the
Up,
problem?
update, what have we done in the last 6 months?
Shouldn't we state that right up front
That's what I'm
at the
gonna-
beginning?
That's exactly what I'm gonna, that's part of my
Yeah,
introduction.
I always like starting presentations with my desired outcome for this presentation is.
That's-
You know,
that's the
because you
introduction.
don't want people to over-expect what is going to come, but you also don't want to under-expect.
It's exactly why I said in the introduction, I say, if you're looking for solutions from this presentation, turn to another channel, because there won't be any. Right up front, that's it. The purpose of this, and that's part of the introduction, is to give you the information that we've gathered over the last 6 months. The real situation, the real
I think the
information.
mission
That's the
really
point,
describes, right?
exactly.
Mission sort of describes where we are at, where we're going, right?
Well, the mission statement that's gonna be up, right up on the, that I'm gonna point to, that's the total of what we're gonna do.
Right.
It's really a general outline, a roadmap of what we wanna do.
Right, that's a good point. Right after that, you can
That's
say
right,
that
that's right.
this is just the beginning, right?
Well, I'm gonna use a Winston Churchill quote. That this is not the end, this is not the beginning of the end, but it is the end of the beginning. That's Winston. That's Winston Churchill.
Wow.
Can we put that up on the, with
I think
the,
that should be the first slide.
yeah, that could be the first
I like
slide.
it.
Why
Yeah.
are you-
Hey,
Credit
Winston Churchill did
for it.
well with it,
Well, there's a.
after Alamein.
I was
Are you
impressed you
gonna
could
have a cigar
remember
in your
them.
mouth?
No, I don't think so. Not a lot of people know that quote, but
No,
Never
it's a
heard it
good one.
before.
it's a good one. All right, anyway,
It's like who's
Well,
on
the other
first?
is never let a good crisis go to waste. That's
Oh, yeah.
that's what
Well.
Winston Churchill, yeah.
all right, anyway,
Interesting.
more
Okay.
comments, any other comments on the format?
No.
Okay, now, so we have the reports in place up to this point. We have the format of the presentation. You know, that was pretty much the purpose of this meeting today. Anything else you want to bring up about, but again, stay focused on this.
Mike
Yes.
had brought up there'd be a handout to the trustees ahead of time, so is that just a conglomeration of this stuff?
It'll be the report that we're gonna submit to them, that Jeff's gonna present.
The actual
So,
report.
The actual report. Every trustee gets an agenda, and in the agenda in the packet is information on every agenda item.
Okay.
As it's presented, so they have it in front of them, and they should have previewed it before they get there.
Which would be,
Maybe a
which
site
would be
visit.
the PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't be all this stuff.
okay.
It's just.
So this is just for talking points
Yes.
to understand what the bullet points need to be.
This is how we developed the bullet
Right.
points.
Gotcha, thank you.
Okay.
Is there any benefit, I'm just throwing out a brainstorm, to list all the people we had? You know, it shows us how
Yes.
deep our research is,
You
where
bet.
all this information coming from, right? So
Yeah.
we are not expert ourselves, but we have all these people gave us the information, and
Good
based
point.
on
I don't
that,
think-
we are presenting this.
I don't think that's in here.
Well, that could be in
It's
the
not, but
beginning.
there could be a one
Yeah.
slide with
Yeah.
all
Yeah,
those people.
absolutely
Who
correct.
do we debrief?
Okay, that's absolutely what we
Although,
need.
I think we have a degree in community, in civil engineering by the end of this.
Okay. I'm gonna write that, I wanna make sure I put that, add,
Just
speakers.
List of
You just had a
speakers.
slide with bullet of all the
They're all
people
up
who've
there.
been here. Yeah.
So we had MDOT,
Yeah, well, we had-
we had
Oh,
legislator, we
She's
got,
already got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is, okay, that's
Yeah.
what you want, right?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, the timelines.
The great Karnak.
That's what was at each meeting and giving us
okay.
I've been
presentation.
trying.
I didn't see that.
I didn't notice that before. That's
Me
right.
neither.
You're a mind reader, right?
Boy, you're way ahead of us.
Soothsayer.
Why don't you just come up with the solutions, come up with everything, what we need to do, and then we,
I'll get on it.
save us some time.
Raise taxes. Ooh.
Like on every TV show on TV. I'm on it, boss, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Are we assuming that everybody understands the disconnect over ownership and funding?
that's part of,
Yeah, that's.
That's what this is
Big
about.
piece to
Because
this.
that's
This is
a
all
part
about-
that
it's part of
when I talk to my neighbors, there's an assumption that the township owns the roads.
no.
And there's all kinds of assumptions, but I don't think I don't think the majority of our citizens understand that the ownership of the roads falls within the road commission, but they don't have any money.
Yeah, right.
So that's a huge disconnect as far as how do we move to this next phase of fixing it?
Yeah,
So
that's the
should I add
bulk
that
of
to
my
the
part.
introduction, or should
Yeah,
it be in the
Or our
report?
part. That's the bulk of number 2. It talks about who owns what as far as the streets, who's getting funded for it, and who's
Yeah.
not getting funded for it.
I just looked, I
but-
didn't see that,
But
but
sees
okay.
it being a problem.
Yeah, I mean,
So that's
be
gonna be in
clear.
your report.
He laid
in
it
our
out- he
report.
laid it out
I'm
real
on
well.
that committee too, right, good.
Yes, sir.
There you go. That's right.
And then we cycle back.
You're right,
Right,
that's the
right.
most misunderstood thing. Everybody
yeah.
I talk to says, well, how come we can't, because we don't own the road, we don't, and
as I
that's a big disconnect, you're
as I
right.
understand, we don't even own an easement
No,
off of
it's about 17 feet into your property is county-owned.
Oh, is that right?
You measure from the center of the road, if it's a 60-foot right-of-way, you measure 30 feet from the center of the road onto your property. Generally, it's about 17 feet in from the curb or from the road. That's the county
So not
property.
only are they not taking care of the roads, they're
But no,
not
you're
taking
cutting
care of
the
not taking care of the ditches.
The swales,
Yeah, the culverts,
they're not doing that.
Sewer lines.
which leads to problems on the roads.
Well,
That's right.
okay,
And to the houses.
yeah, okay, but what you suggest is correct, and that, as John said, that'll be in that report.
Okay.
So can we move on to the next subject?
Yeah. Which is?
Deer.
Oh, I was gonna put that under items, right, okay. If we're done with that, then I'll bring it up.
Deer.
All right,
Okay.
we have one item, oh,
Yeah.
geez, Mike, you want to talk
I
about
need to leave right at 5:30, I apologize.
Go ahead.
But, So, the Board of Trustees had a very interesting presentation from the DNR at our last meeting. And Sue, can we make sure they each get a email with that presentation? It lasts about an hour. Talked about deer. And we're getting a lot of complaints in the community about the deer population and the damage it's doing to people's property. And we talked about putting a citizens commission together to learn about the deer problem and maybe come back and make some recommendations. And I thought we could put a new committee together, take some time. And I thought maybe this committee could consider looking into the deer situation, discussing it, and maybe come back with some recommendations if you're comfortable doing it. If you're not, and we don't need to answer it tonight, we can just think about it, because we're here, we're all from different neighborhoods, and I don't know how you feel about the deer or not feel about the deer, so.
Deer,
Well, it's a question of do you want this committee to do it or not, not how you
Yes.
feel about it. But do
Right.
you want this committee?
But how you
Well,
feel
what
about
anybody
it.
here thinks about that.
About tackling the subject on top of the roads.
deer tick is a problem. My grandson got,
Tick, Lyme disease?
yeah, Lyme, and, luckily, it kind of was cured, but there are people I've seen that Lyme disease can disable the person altogether.
It's
Okay, but what are your thoughts about
Debilitating.
us taking that on?
As a newbie, and having had a chance to present to this group, my experience is, when you put a committee together, a huge component of the committee is the dynamics of the people. And so once you learn the dynamics of how people think and react with each other, what that committee can do is endless, in my opinion.
Just my
I wouldn't have a
opinion.
problem, I mean,
You know.
if you want to learn about tick disease, I'd be glad to explain it to you. But, no, it's, because it, again, it's all about safety, and, you know, I don't think it's nice that deer walk through it. And then they bring other animals, the coyotes and things like that, that are trying to get the fawns and whatever it is, but I don't know what the
Wild
heck they,
turkeys
I don't know
are-
what world, what on, yeah, turkeys.
All over the place.
I don't know what on world they think they can do about it without culling the herd, and I don't know that they're willing to do that, but anyway, yeah, it would be interesting.
Steve, you have something? Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you wanted to interject into this.
No, I'm taking it in.
Okay. I see you have no, I'm going to respectfully completely disagree with what you said. I think, and I sent that email back to you, this committee was formed to do one thing, and that was look at roads. By taking on another subject and doing that, it's going to dilute the focus of this committee.
But deer cause problems with
Just let me
roads.
give you my opinion, that's all. They do cause problems, so do a lot of
Right.
things. Traffic causes problems,
Yeah.
the schools need help, there's lots of problems, there's lots of things, you know.
I
but
understand what, yeah,
do we want to dilute
not now.
what this committee does by taking on another thing? Unless you want to change this committee, not to road advisory committee, but create a committee, and maybe this is it, Township Advisory Committee, Policy Committee, Advisory Committee, meaning that it can take on any subject. Any subject that comes along, we can advise the township, a permanent committee, an
Right.
advisory committee. I'm not saying we should, but I really don't think, in my opinion, it's only one vote.
Well, I don't disagree with anything you've said.
I think we dilute what we're gonna do, and we need to focus on what we're doing. That's my opinion, and if you don't agree and you.
Well, I would
vote
only
a different
address it
way-
if it has something to do with the purpose of the committee. That was my point.
Or after this
Or
committee's done.
after this is done, he may want to resurrect the committee to do it because of the dynamics
That's
of the
different.
committee, which are
Sure.
absolutely valid.
I'd be
But no,
great.
I don't have an issue with it. You know, you could stick turkeys in there too if you want.
We can
because-
stick anything
Mike,
involved.
Because they-
what's the timing? I mean, is this start tomorrow, or is it, because we don't know where this is going, because the state's got 2 weeks to do its thing.
Right. We can set our own schedule with it. I don't think there's any rush.
Okay.
But we have to address it. One of our trustees came up with the idea, and this is humorous, that we bring in some wolves and panthers to help clean up the deer, and then we bring in the bear to help clean up the wolves and the panthers, and then we
Yeah.
catch the bear and put him in the zoo.
Perfect.
But
My wife
And
keeps
hope
looking
no
at,
children are in the way.
But it's not, I think roads are a priority for us. We can address it anytime we want, but it needs to start to be addressed. And I think the first move that the trustees can do is put out an ordinance saying it's illegal to feed the deer. We don't have an ordinance on that, so we can at least do something in the meantime, right? And then we can have people come in and address the committee at a future date. But if you don't want to do it, that's fine. We can put together another deer advisory committee. But since we're here, I thought, let's run it by this group, because this is a pretty balanced group from different neighborhoods. I don't know how you feel about the deer, so it's kind of a neutral.
Well, that's another issue.
Yeah.
And that's personal to everybody.
Right, but I haven't cued any of you about, how do you feel about deer? Do you have deer problems? You know, what do you think should happen? Thought, let's have the conversation. And like Jeff said, he wants to stay focused on this, but I said, let's at least talk about it and get.
The proper way to do it is is to put that on the agenda at the next meeting, October 1st, so that we can vote on it. You can't vote on anything that's not on the agenda. It's just not done. Robert's rules don't like it. You don't do that, because then other people who are out there, they don't know you're gonna do it, and all of a sudden you ram something through. You know, you can't do that. But if you put it on the agenda, an item on the agenda, we can vote on it. So I would suggest that
That's
we
a nice
ask the
idea.
question, put it on the agenda for the next meeting
Right.
as an agenda item, and we'll vote on whether you want to take it on or discuss it and see what happens. Jeff?
An alternative could be, say, that you're going to create a deer advisory committee. How many people, because you're talking about the group dynamics and the interaction, how many of the people on this committee would willing to also serve on that committee? And that may give you a core
Yeah.
of community representation, and the 3 or 4 or 5 of us, I would serve on it.
Okay.
And then you supplement it, and that way you
Yeah.
don't confuse, mission.
Yeah, I've had a few people
you go. That's a
email
good
say
point.
they'd like to participate.
But I mean, I think there's a couple of us that probably do it. And so then you could have a core of group working together, and then you
That's a
can go
nice idea.
forward. So that's
And then Sue's going to forward you the YouTube video of the presentation, so you can at least start to get your
It's
feet
an hour
wet.
long.
It's an hour long,
while.
but it's an excellent presentation.
But
All
maybe
right, so
we,
we will put it on the agenda for the next meeting. okay?
About deer, that's the presentation?
The DNR's presentation.
Oh, okay.
So
To the
when
Board
you're
of
home,
Trustees.
you can't sleep at night, you know.
What is the overall
everybody don't like
timeline
Bambi,
for
pretend about that.
this committee?
When is the
I-
final
I-
report due?
Yeah, I would say not, in my mind, the work of this committee never really stops, but it should at least get to a point where it becomes a quarterly review of status type of thing, so that we don't just fall right back into the same trench we're in right now. But my mind works in Microsoft Project, and so I see timelines. And I guess being a newbie, what I'd like to understand is what's our timeline and where are we on the overall timeline?
Well, we never established a timeline. We never did, because, and there was a reason, we talked about that at the very beginning, because we want to make sure we get this done properly and thoroughly, and it doesn't, it's not going to take, when it's not going to be an immediate satisfaction, okay? Now, we could do that. Again, it could be an agenda item that we could establish a timeline, but we have never done, we didn't. We established what we want to accomplish. That's the mission statement.
Okay.
And this is the interim report. Now, if you, in a future meeting, we put it on an agenda, next meeting if you want, to propose a timeline, that's certainly your prerogative, we could do that, but we don't have one right now.
Well, even if you don't have time, one of the neat things about Microsoft Project is that you can list activities and how activities interact with other activities. So whether or not you actually put dates on it is not as relevant as understanding what the tasks are, which may change as we get smarter, and how those tasks interrelate to each other, where here's a task that we can't really start until this task up here ends. And I, in my mind, that creates a great visual for us.
Okay, well, we can
Whether it's
discuss it.
time-based or not.
We can discuss that at the next meeting, put it as an agenda item. We kind of did that. We said, we're going to do the fact-finding, that's it. Right now, that's it. Not an end, but that's what we're concentrating on. No solutions, no suggestions, nothing, just fact-finding. That was phase one. Phase two, we really didn't say exactly what that was going to be, but
Okay.
we're going to lead into that. We'll get there.
So at the output of the work product of the output of phase one is to define
That's
phases
this.
2, 3, and 4?
The outcome of phase one is what you see in front of you. That's it,
Yeah,
that
okay.
presentation.
Okay.
Then we'll meet, then we'll continue from there. What do we do with that information? That's the that's the thing.
Yeah.
And we haven't discussed that yet, because in my mind, I wanted to get it orderly, get the facts first.
Yeah.
But important thing is, kind of brings up a question, what is our commitment, how long we going to be committed to doing this? So it's kind of nice to discuss and know that it is not perpetual, it is, we
Well,
have
right.
other things. to
Finite
do.
end.
Right.
Okay, so why don't we do that at the next that's a lot on the next meeting, actually, but it's not really, we could get through it.
Could Fred give us a demonstration of that Microsoft project?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we can have a good visual of it?
Be happy
Okay.
to.
So the next meeting, we'll put that on the agenda.
Yeah.
We'll try to work through that and we can start the discussion.
Just like you're saying that, we don't want this to be infinite. At the same token, our citizens want to see a result.
Yeah,
For sure. And this is not a result. This is a fact-finding.
We said that from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Every meeting we said that.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
But what the citizens want is, when are you gonna fix the roads? And what's causing the road damage to occur? And at some point, I think we have to get to that.
Well, you know what? The other thing is, it's not up to us to decide when we're going to fix it.
board.
What we're only going to say to the Board of Trustees, this is what we need to do. Here are the suggestions.
Yeah,
There it is.
yeah.
It's not up to us to do it.
No, I understand, so I understand.
Yeah, Board of Trustees.
Okay,
make
so
that
we can
decision.
continue that discussion.
That's phase two,
That's phase 2, or 3, or 4.
whatever it is. Whatever you say it is, that's what.
All right, so next meeting, we'll really finalize this. We'll get the report back from the state, what they've decided to do. We'll fine tune, make sure all the presentations are in order, and then on the 13th, we'll we'll give it our best shot.
Great plan.
Okay, I think that's it. Everyone, is anything else?
I move to adjourn.
Well,
I second it.
oh, okay, good. Thank you.
Run, guys, I'll see you.
Good meeting. Thank you guys very much.
Yeah,
Catch up with you later.
yeah, I'm leaving.
Oh, and next time we'll do the picture, I guess. huh?